And welcome back to Downtime Activities. Welcome back to our combined Star Wars campaign. When less we laughed. We did laugh less than some previous sessions, but a good amount still. When last we left, you guys had just finished more or less clearing out the facility that had been built up around your old training grounds, your old home on the ice caves of Rhen Var, the hidden away Jedi ice cave of Rhen Var. And you have only one unaccounted for enemy, and that is a strange being in a black cloak that you only got a glimpse of, who doesn't seem, unless maybe that stun baton guy was wearing a cloak before and isn't now, but it didn't look like that guy's wearing armor.
He threw it off for a dramatic reveal.
That's
traitor!
Yeah. And then flipped around like some weird, like...
looking thing.
Yeah, some weird... Anyway, as we can all agree, the best Star Wars movie trilogy is the new trilogy.
Somehow.
I just want to keep talking about how the sequel and prequel trilogies are the best Star Wars content to make nerds angry.
Well, it was about 10 episodes of my campaign in a row where you were referencing things
two.
only from episode 2.
It's very referenceable, whether you like it or not. It's got its moments. Moving on.
Started. That's episode
No, that's episode 3, or Star Wars The Third Gathers.
Backstroke of the West.
Backstroke of the West. Anyway,
Best.
look it up. Worth your time.
At least the highlight.
What are you guys doing?
Moving down the stairs, I think.
Moving to the country.
Okay.
Keeping Skull at the back of the column for now.
Alright. Zadra will kind of start bringing the ship around and landing
Skull can watch the ship or be on the ship. I don't want Skull to die.
Skull will go up on the ship and make sure he'll make sure no one gets on board and causes any nonsense. He'll go on board the ship with R3. And
R3's an astromech droid, right?
Yeah.
The way R3 can pay me back for all the shit he's caused is by fixing Skull.
He can start doing some try and attempt some repair work. I think technically like per encounter one mechanics. Long term, he can help. You guys will move down. Zadra will come with you, and he'll like get on his crutch and start walking down with you guys. He's he's very cautious moving across the ice.
Yeah, we've seen a stormtrooper slip on the ice already. So
he's got pretty decent poise and balance.
I'm gonna run over and try to help him out and kind of like pick him up a little bit.
He'll definitely let you help. He'll want to walk of his own volition on the leg he's got left, but he'll certainly let you be an arm underneath his shoulder.
Yeah,
and you guys moving down into this, waiting at the bottom with the robe over and his hands in.
Just blasting.
He looks up and you do see red skin on this alien person underneath the robe behind you.
Is
and
there
he
a trumpet
reaches up and pulls his hood back. And this individual, I'm trying to think of. Well, I should look this up on my phone.
Wait, no, but is it trumpets or is it kazoos?
And he pulls his hood back and goes, "Please don't shoot." As he is not seemingly a combatant. And I will show you what he looks like. For those of you who don't know,
is he a good
those of you at home, Google Sith species and what they look like. You guys don't know, so don't. That's out of character knowledge.
Does he have pointy horns and maybe like is very like edgy?
He's got a red face and weird tentacly whisker things.
Oh,
they look like this. This is what's it's kind of red humanoid, but they have like these kind of long tendril-y beard things.
Okay.
And he pulls the hood off as like, "Don't shoot! Please don't shoot! I mean no harm to any of you."
Well, I get out my binders and I'll handcuff him.
He'll let you put him in cuffs. He won't resist you putting him in cuffs. He says, my name is... I'm here somewhere. He says, "My name is Mycash. I am simply a historian."
Well, alright, Mycash, take us to the,
"Perhaps you can help me." And he starts walking towards the cave.
We'll see about that.
And you can see the cave more or less completely rebuilt. You can see that like it was probably some painstaking work to get like these like lines up, but walking in you see a cave that inside of which is a small dais. The like rock that was in the way is not there anymore, but there's like a kind of central dais section, and then seemingly painstakingly put back together in the right order, you can see a mural along the walls of 3 furry aliens. Whippids, I believe, was the species, but two of which are sitting kind of like crisscross applesauce with a blue orb in front of them on their laps with their hands on their legs. And the one in the middle with sitting crisscross applesauce reaching up like this with a yellow orb above him. And yeah, that's what this depicted on the wall. And you can see that like everything, like there's definitely missing chunks and stuff from here there, but the whole mural is up and the dais has been rebuilt. And he like walks in and he says, "Now, you are force sensitive, yes?"
Who would have thunk it?
I assume if you came back here, you're the ones who were here before. From what I'm told, you were able to use this. How?
Why would I tell you that?
I mean you no harm. Like I said, I'm a historian. I want to know the meanings of this place.
I look at Zadra like...
I think we should just... Look, let's
Hey,
shoot him,
hey,
let's tear
bud.
the place down, let's go.
I'm just gonna,
No need to shoot an unarmed man.
I'm just gonna
That'll
say,
be the first time.
in your opinion, what's like the most interesting part about this place?
Historically speaking, very interesting part of this is I don't understand the yellow orb's depiction. This place seems to be in line with the Force, though the blue orbs would... And he kind of like rolls his eyes at this. He's like, would symbolically represent something of a more traditional Jedi art design of early Jedi temples or places of study. The yellow orb, I don't have a direct match anywhere that I can find.
I see.
Very strange indeed.
Uh,
Did you cuff his hands on the front or the back?
back, for sure.
Back. So he can't scratch his chest. Scratches his back.
Scratches his ass. He's got tentacles down there, too.
Anything in your pursuit of scholarly knowledge you've... have you used this place previously?
Maybe once before. It didn't turn out very well.
I feel something here, but...
Can I use a sense and try to like sense where I feel like the force is strongest in this
Roll.
room?
Roll sense.
I'm gonna one dark side.
Can I
I
do
guess
it?
technically it's like sense. It's any force point. But anyway.
You can roll them as well. Go for it.
Roll.
Of course. What you can sense is that
I have some bad energy from this place.
being in this place makes you very clouded and uncomfortable. You can sense that this guy is force sensitive, but not force sensitive like... He's somewhere between an average person and force sensitive enough that like the Jedi would have kidnapped him as a kid. Like he's more in touch and like in line with the Force than like an average person, but he's certainly
He's
not
like-
like picking stuff up with his mind.
He's like a guy that likes yoga and crystals. Like he's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
more in sense, but he's not like
He's not an actual vegan. You can't buy a Waluigi board from him.
He's not an actual historian, he's like a homeopathic historian.
Homeopathic historian is the name of my heavy metal Bruce Springsteen cover band. Thank you, sir. But yeah, you can sense that off him. With two light side, that yellow orb, not only is it like what he described as like the weird part of this, like you feel a very strong force presence almost in that area right above us, like where that orb sits.
Going directly under the Devil's Castanets. It's homeopathic historian.
pretty good.
On the list of heavy metal Bruce Springsteen cover bands.
Can I
Hey, if there's enough requests out there, we might do out of context quote list reading at some point in the future.
can I touch it?
You go up and kind of press your hand against it, make a death saving throw. That's not anything in the system, but going up and like pressing your hand against it, roll me another force die.
One dark side.
You press and feel, and like you're like trying to feel for like the kind of overwhelming presence of like the force flowing. What you feel is a very strong, like almost like a torrent of the force centering where your hand rests against this circle. It feels a little deeper than the stone itself, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel evil. It doesn't feel scary. It doesn't give you that like jerk reaction like when you accidentally like mentally connected with the thing that lives in the big cave. But it gives you like, it's almost like it registers nothing, but a very, very powerful nothing.
Very neutral.
Very powerful, but very neutral.
What makes a man go neutral? That's what Manus is gonna have to ask himself.
Well, that's Manus' redemption arc.
That's right.
Is it
After he becomes
is jumping up to
Is it like the Eye of the Storm, almost?
When you mean from your previous vision, or what do you like?
Yeah.
It's not no, because with the Eye of the Storm, it's the calmness surrounded by a swirling vortex all around it.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like whatever the inverse of the Eye of the Storm would be. Like everything around you is level and serene, and like there's not chaotic energy around you. In this place itself is a very concentrated, small focal point of very neutral force energy. It's something that's
Which
very
is
weird and foreign.
Such a crazy, like, cool canon thing.
Like that's something like it's dark side because you're reaching out with the light side of the force, and what you feel return back is not the light side of the force.
Okay.
It is, I mean, one might even call it just something purely the force instead of
Dark
skewed
side
in any
and
sort
light
of
side,
way. It
it's
doesn't.
like
It's
yin.
inanimate. It's not. It doesn't seem to have a like most beings or most aspects of the force you've connected with previously. They have their own agenda. They have their own bias. They have their own sway. This seems like an incredibly powerful focal point of neutral force energy.
I guess that's what you sense.
Yeah. I guess I'll tell him.
Okay. Manus's brain walks over. Hey, can you punch this like really hard?
Well, let's not be hasty.
Like not with your lightsaber or anything, but just like maybe with your knuckles.
You have no idea how long this took.
I'm so sorry. We
I
have
don't
to
think
tear
there's.
it
I
down.
don't think there's anything. Well, I mean, yes, we do have to tear it down, but like, I don't think there's anything behind it because they had to rebuild it.
Oh,
Go ahead and give me a average perception.
okay. This is very much like Manus going. Oh, it's like a portrait. Like behind the portrait, there's the treasure.
You have to say.
Like yeah, that's just Manus's like way of thinking about the world. So
There's nothing there. It's just.
This doesn't fit my way of thinking about the world. Strong neutrality does not fit how Riden's view of the world, so therefore it's all just some kind of
average.
Average perception.
weird religion that he doesn't
One
really
advantage.
understand.
One advantage.
Green die did not show up on that.
Looking at it, like, it's hard to know, like, the actual orb itself doesn't have any cracks that have been sealed through it. So, like, it's a fairly small piece where that orb was that got put up there. Who knows if, like, how deep it goes. With the advantage, though, you feel like... How do I word this? You feel something... Similar to how I described to her as far as the presence. Like, you feel something present there. It feels like something that maybe could be physically reached out to or possibly be reached out to in a more force way. And you're not sure exactly if both would be effective or which would be more effective, but it seems like whatever this presence is, there's more than one way somebody could interact or come in
That's
contact
interesting. I'll try and use a force move.
Okay.
To just think about, okay, there's this object in here and I'm going to try and bring it out.
with it. Roll me 2 force die.
Okay. Ba-ba.
Oh shit!
3 dark side points on two dice.
You have this moment where you reach out with the force to try and pull this, and then there's this it's almost like it's similar to how you felt when you accidentally connected with the Inquisitor, where there's another presence in this you're kind of in your own zone, and all of a sudden there's another presence there, but the presence is this orb that's across from you, and you feel like a connection, there's this balance of energies, and then all of a sudden your mind kind of twists slightly. And you can see the stonework where this is in shudders slightly, and you feel like you could pull this physical block out of the structure using the force, but you feel like whatever sort of connection there could have been there, you failed to create.
Yeah.
So if you want to, you could dislodge the stonework, that piece that this orb is painted on, but that's it.
Can I try?
Well, are you doing that or not?
Let me... I'll leave it.
Okay, so you stop, and you kind of see it shudder and then stop.
I'm I feel like that was almost there, but not quite. Alright. You want to try?
You just know Okay, roll 2 force die.
Exactly even.
One light and one
each.
dark.
Yeah.
You focus really hard on this. Exactly one of each.
You focus.
So the
Cinematic.
so good.
You reach up your hand and focus, and similar to how I described to him, like you feel like you're by yourself all of a sudden. Like everything around you kind of fades away, and you're alone, and your presence is all you feel. And then you feel the presence of this circle behind you, and you try and like force move, and then also like it's again feels like you could like pick up that block and move it towards you, but there's not like something else to force like move with the force. But you feel this like connection. And you guys see Flopsy basically close their eyes and like start somewhat mindlessly walking towards this, and her hand reach up to the stonework and like almost as if the stonework was a hologram, like slide in as you kind of reach out in the force, and you feel your hand grab around as something circular and hard.
I'm gonna pull.
And then as you see Flopsy pull out with her hand, in her hand rests a sphere that is kind of bound in metal, but the inside of which has a bright, kind of a fairly bright yellow glow with swirling gray mist around it. And it sits inside.
I am a way better Jedi.
Man.
This is some real Space Wizard bullshit.
I'll say. What's that? May I?
Absolutely. Absolutely not.
I'm already starting to think this guy's seen too much.
That's exactly what Manish just thought.
You cannot hold this.
I'm just.
Hang on. Flopsy just found the best rock.
This is a real good rock.
This is the best rock.
Like, seriously, it is.
This
No one's
rock
touching this rock.
is great too. This is the chosen one rock in all the galaxies.
It is.
This is the chosen one rock. It will bring balance to all rocks.
And he's just like adjusting to try and get the best view of it he can without approaching, because he's scared you guys will kill him if he tries to touch it.
I totally would.
He's just trying to absorb, and he seems just like super pumped to get to have gotten to experience this.
All right, Zadra. What is it?
May I? And he takes it from you and
then he starts laughing maniacally.
he pulls off his mask to reveal the Emperor.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
He was willing to sacrifice a leg. It was so deep cover.
So important to get this. And he like shifts around, and we will see what Zadra thinks of this.
Dude, that was so cinematically perfect.
Yeah,
especially with like our dynamic that like Manus struggles with being too dark side in the
He
Force.
gets too dark and gets too distracted and
But
stuff.
Flopsy is just
like
pure.
The best. It's just so pure.
It's kind of the Harry Potter pulling the Sorcerer's Stone thing out of the mirror, where it's like what it takes to get this is something is very specific. And
you see him kind of like hold it up
there
in the palm of his hand and look at it, focusing very hard for a second, and you see it like it's kind of like a circle with like kind of this glass thing. There's a seam of metal and then like a metal piece at either end, and you see kind of a line on those two pieces above his hand and raise up, and like he sits there focusing really hard, and you see it kind of start to spin on that seam and start to separate, and then it clamps back shut and falls to his hand, and he looks up at you guys very confused and says, I'm not sure if I'm able to open this one, but this is some very strange form of something we used to call a holocron.
Oh shit! Out of character. It's like a great Jedi holocron. That's so fucking rad.
Of course, the great Jedi make the coolest holocrons. The Sith have their demon masks, which statistically are really cool.
Go for it.
And the Jedi make their regular boring ass holocrons and
One dark side. Ooh.
Seems. Excuse me. Sorry. Roll 2 force die. You get to roll. You get to roll a second for this. Because you're using it. No,
at the same time.
At the same time. 2 together. You're not using your force rating when you're trying to use this.
Ooh, 2 light side, 1 dark side.
You see the same thing happen to her, where like she focuses really hard on this, and it like raises up, and it starts to turn, and then snaps back and falls into her palm.
This is gonna turn into the fucking like Jedi Rubik's Cube, where we're just all passing it around and like trying it.
I have a.
I
I have an out of character.
focus on it, and it kind of like raise up in the air, and you're like, and then it like flies out of your hand and hits a wall and kind of clanks to the ground and rolls.
I'm gonna pick it up and be like,
And you see the smoke around it kind of like swirl very violently, and then like go back to settle and just kind of sit there bobbing around this yellow light.
Can I look at it?
They hand it to you.
Yeah.
Erickson, you fucking mad bastard! I love it.
I have an out of character suggestion of a way to open it, but Riden wouldn't have any like basis to suggest this.
Yeah.
But
Don't worry. Then don't do it so we don't accidentally.
That's right. Let's let the story progress naturally.
So fucking rad. I love it. The idea of Grey Jedi is always just like so cool because it adds like so much context of like. So we know that you have like the Sith and they're the bad guys. It's pretty clear that like the Sith are the bad guys. Like there's not really like a lot of thing there, but the Jedi aren't necessarily the good guys. Yeah, so it's like it adds this really interesting dynamic.
I read a fantasy series back in the day where the whole point is order versus chaos. That's how the magic system works. And through the book series, what gets brought up is like, oh yeah, it turns out again, it's like these like order wizards, these good guys aren't really the good guys because they've spent so much time like jamming all this order into the world that the world has to balance itself, so they're actually just making chaos more powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are like gray wizards in that are like trying to just like balance the two forces. Right. And ever since then, that's been my like my belief about the Force is that like the Jedi and the Sith both have it wrong. Like that's what balance in the Force means is there has to be an equal amount of both. And so this is
turns out Flopsy
like,
is the master of that.
Yeah. So like,
it was just
out
so
of
cinematically perfect that where Manus is too on the dark side,
Flopsy's just able to center and
out of character. This is super rad.
So cool.
I
love it. In character, you're like space wizard.
Yeah.
Grumble, my nerves. That's it. Sorry, wrong campaign. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of like this is very much in character. Manus will kind of like because I'm gonna assume that our new friend here is like looking at the orb.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of like look at Manus and I'm gonna like look at this guy.
Manus or Zadra?
Sorry,
you look at yourself.
That's deep.
Internal, and then you look.
Let me take a second. Look at myself.
Yeah.
All right.
I look at Zadra and like I kind of like raise my eyebrows and like look over at our historian buddy like.
Zadra, turns to you picked it up last? You tried it last?
I did.
Yeah. He says, let me see that again. Takes it and he says, unbind this man for a second, please.
Clip.
And he's going to walk over to it and he extends his arm with this orb in his hand and he's like, go ahead, take a look at it, see what you can find out. And the man takes it from his hand and looks at it, and his eyes are just
he's
so
this
wide
is the coolest
and
shit
excited.
I've ever seen in my life.
And you see Zadra step back and slightly to the side and reach out and pull the blade out, and this guy just looking at it, and nothing's moving, nothing's happening. He's not able to, but he just seems
fascinated.
He just seems fascinated and in love with a moment, and then Zadra extends the blade through his back, and the guy kind of sloughs off of his blade, dead. And Zadra will sheath it and put it back and be like,
noted.
That was not someone we could let live, but I would want him to at least die having finished his work.
I don't think he finished his work. What all you did was open up a whole new host of questions for him.
Questions he will never have to answer. Let's go.
Let's go.
I mean, I agree.
Shuffle.
He says, I can't imagine this place will function anymore without that, so...
That seemed pretty important.
Let's leave it in one piece so that they try.
Yeah, wait, hang on 1 sec. I'm gonna go over to where we pulled that out. I'm gonna pull out my lightsaber. I'm just gonna fucking deface the whole place.
Okay.
Slashing.
Might
be having a little bit too much fun.
How would you go and roll me force die? Let's roll
You,
force die to see how you...
One dark side.
You're having a little too much fun with it.
Because
you were I'm the person who should be able to do this, and I can't do this. And like, it's kind of letting out some
It's kind
aggression
of like
doing that.
literally this whole place is just like a symbol to my own like
To your
faults.
own faults.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like I may be venting a little bit.
This is cathartic in a dark sort of way.
Manus is definitely letting out a little bit of grief.
I'm
and
gonna
anger
make a
here.
little baby Bjorn for this.
Okay.
It's Zadra. That kid's got problems.
He like,
He just get lights in his face.
he says, you know, we all have problems when we're young, and hopefully we have good influences to help us outgrow them.
I'm gonna go.
He shrugs. He's like, yeah, I'm still not good at this whole wisdom thing.
I'm gonna go.
I was more raised an eyebrow about the good influences thing.
He says, I try my best.
You and I just had a conversation about this.
Hopefully...
I calmed him down. I said, "You're
There you
done.
go.
You're done."
You're done. That's enough. That's enough. Flopsy being the wise master of the party once again.
Man, does have flops.
From the mouth of babes.
That's right, with 7-year-old Yetis.
The
A
wisest
7-year-old Yeti
beings
is
in
still
the
a
world.
Yeti.
7-year-old little babies, little baby,
Little bibis.
little babies.
I've never met anyone as wise as that little baby Yeti.
Alright, well I guess we're piling back on the ship and the AA guns don't work. Everyone's dead.
Seems like there's a pretty small force here with just really this guy to work on the rebuild project.
I'm gonna go into
At
the
this point.
shuttle.
Okay.
And I'd like to try to do like a computer's check to see if I can pull any like relevant like code data or anything out of it.
Okay. Go for it.
You just want a
Give me a
list
hard
of
computer.
current Imperial
Right.
I'm gonna
access codes.
meditate with the ball.
Okay.
With my new rock and my old rock.
Oh.
2
They
success.
form into one super rock.
And then it's just this giant scorpion.
The giant Grey Jedi Scorpion.
Horrifying.
A lightsaber beam comes out of his stinger.
2 success.
But then
2
somebody
threat.
still lights.
2 success, 2 threat. You going into this, you do find a couple of like more recent, up-to-date access codes that might be like clearance codes that may be helpful in the future. You also notice that a distress beacon has been sent and has probably been active since you guys have started the attack, and therefore your time here should be limited.
There we go.
A response is likely on the way. Who knows how far?
Fair enough. I relay that information, and we assume get foe.
Get that.
Oh, I couldn't say goodbye to my dog. Again!
You rush to the ship. No time to say
No
goodbye.
time to
The
say
ship
goodbye.
kind of raises up, and as it does, you see for the sake of this, like you rise up, and it goes up, and you guys can all see like the cockpit if you're there. There's kind of this like upper section that is kind of like a rocky bit that is next to this cave, and you see another cave there, and you see like slowly piercing its head out of the shadow of the cave and kind of like limping out. It seems like it's still not in great shape from the last time you saw it, but it's still alive. You see a like long wolf-like face, but with like a pulled, almost beak-like bone mouth at the end of it, like extend out of this cave and watch the ship rise and fly off.
It's my boy.
Look what they did with my boy.
I do like the idea that Manus like will sit up front in like the co-pilot seat because he's like also has some piloting, so he like likes to.
And
do
if
that.
nothing else, like you're sitting up there, and Zadra would want you to sit there and be like, "So this is how this," and like he like is, and he's starting to explain to you kind of some of the stuff with the ship, not just like flying, but like this is how the sensors work. The ship has very high-end sensors. The ship was designed to like go chart worlds. Like this ship is a scouting, like a planetary exploration ship. That's why he got it, so that he'd have really long scanners, and then he's made it very hard to detect. And
This
like,
is
the whole
big.
point of this shit, like he's like, I've had this is a 65 cherry, like everything's clean and mint except for the paint job in the engine. But like really going into like his thought, for like this is the perfect ship for us to be in because it's hard to find and it's good at finding stuff around it, so we can avoid problems.
Right.
That's how you should view yourself in this world. Like be away, like keep yourself away from the problems until you know you have the right time to strike to stop them, and like he tries to make a lesson out of it in whatever half-cocked wise master way he can.
Predator and prey.
Good old Zadra.
Everything in this galaxy is predator or prey.
I'm still meditating.
And as
Sometimes
long as
you're
you're
one,
prey, don't
sometimes
try to
you're
be predator.
Sometimes you're one, sometimes you're the other, and it's valuable to know
When
at
that
any
is.
given point where you stand.
Sometimes it's best to be in the stance of prey until you know you're predator.
And there's
then
nothing
you
more
bounce.
fun than showing somebody who thinks they're predator that they're actually prey.
See, I like the idea that this is very like two, not necessarily diametric standpoints, but like two.
No,
very different
Zadra and
thought
Riden are
processes.
like
You
really
painfully similar.
and it's like
crazy uncles trying to teach this man wisdom. And I'm in the back just meditating with my baby scorpion and now...
Baby scorpion. You don't know if that's a baby scorpion.
It could be
it's
a
just
baby.
a very interesting spherical rock.
that could be
Somewhat egg-shaped, one might say, rock.
That egg could have anything in it.
That's right.
My new favorite rock
Listen,
and my other new favorite
If we go
rock.
by Pokemon rules, it could be anything.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
It's a flare stinger! Jesus Christ!
It's
Let's
me with big dick.
let's go get my ship back and get Zadra a new leg.
Okay.
Everybody knows
So
that.
you're wanting to do? Are you going to do both those in 10? I think 10 is the plan.
We could probably do both of them in Seth.
Mm-hmm.
I assume the Bounty Hunter planet won't ask too many questions if somebody shows up needing a replacement.
They're like,
scenery.
that's a bummer.
Specifically him, like he's been there before. You
Yeah.
know, he's talked with you there before. So.
Like,
Because
I just-
of course he's been in the weird, sketchy cantina where bounty hunters get
Look, and
hired.
I've been hired at that cantina to fight Imperials, so
Probably fine.
They-
Are
probably
the
don't-
guys that are like...
it will take
Always, they're not.
it will
Oh.
take a suitably high bounty for them to care.
Of course.
We won't know if we have that until we get back.
Yeah. You guys will be able to navigate there successfully. I mean, you have literally a droid for astrogation, as well as a dude who's flown there before from this planet, literally. So it's not hard to navigate there, and you guys will arrive on Teth. You can land. He's able to land next to a ship that looks fairly familiar to you.
Yay!
On the land
Yay.
spot on this world.
There's a parking boot on it.
I shoot the guy putting the oh, it's good. Oh, it's good to see this again.
Skull will kind of like walk out over to him. Just plunk, plunk.
Yeah.
You had to slap it.
You had to slap it twice. You can fit so many bounties in this bad boy.
I can fit so much spaghetti in this ship.
It's,
Oh,
no, it just says
arms
prisoners'
are
cells.
heavy.
I think there's two.
Yeah.
Specifically fit 2 prisoners, unless you just jam multiple of them in each cell.
There's 2 cells.
Yeah, there's 2 cells.
Oh, it's good to see the ship back. Ship
It
again.
is still here. It is in good shape. Nobody's messed with it.
It just makes me feel like I'm on top of the world after all the shit we just done.
Seeing the knife in the dark once again.
Let's find Zadra a new leg and get my armor upgraded once more.
All right.
Especially after the shit that I've seen so far, with Zadra getting a leg chopped off and whatnot.
Yeah,
I definitely want this
We do
armor
have a
upgraded.
lot of cash. We might be able to do a little bit of shopping here,
A little bit upgrading.
which is not visually or narratively very interesting.
There's a
but it
very
can be,
narratively interesting beginning to this episode. There can be a little bit of bookkeeping into it.
We can.
So, entering in this place, you are welcomed in by Pelka Gortoon. You guys see a Deveronian, one of the devil-looking guys, who seems to be kind of the guy who runs this place. He's got some shiny teeth. He's shiny teeth. Shiny teeth that sparkle.
It's very deep, but it's
Look,
there.
man.
I was going
If Disney didn't monopolize my childhood, Nickelodeon sure finished the job.
I was gonna say shiny teeth that he don't believe in.
Shiny teeth that he don't believe. But yeah, he'll come and be like, Riden. Elka Gortoon. I gotta make sure you have to do the thing where you use his name to remember the accent. You old sly wolf, where you been?
Ugh.
Is that Mandalorian armor? So you found a set, huh?
Took some doing.
Where's the owner? That goes without saying. How much a bounty you got on your head for getting that one? Are they after you?
Well, Mandalorians are okay with it. Some other people might not be, but that's a little fuzzier.
These things, it's all fuzzy. You're welcome here. I haven't heard any price on your head coming to us, so,
Well, I appreciate that. I was, just always sort of worried I'd have a hard time getting the ship back, but...
I mean, here's the thing. If you did have a price on your head, I would tell you about it. Unless it was a very big price on your head, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, in which case I would have walked in the front door, put an arm around your shoulders. You would have stood there, smiling nervously, pretending like nothing was wrong. And we would have walked up to where my ship was. So nobody would take a shot at me as long as I'm dragging you around. And then I would have flown out of here.
You know, I think that's a pretty reasonable plan. Glad it didn't have to get put into action. Because there's enough of these guys, if that price was big enough, they'd shoot right through me to hit you. Though with this stuff, and he clinks on your chest, don't know how effective it would be. Come on, let me get you a drink.
I'd appreciate it. You know a good spot around here to get a friend of mine a new robotic leg?
Oh, he's coming in like, that mysterious fella that hired you last time you were here, huh?
Yeah, it's been a...
Plasma cutter accident?
Yeah, more or less.
It always is. I'm not sure how high-end, but something functional, I'm sure. Unless you're willing to pay, there might be somebody around or something.
Well, I don't know what his budget is.
Or
Manus's budget.
So, for the sake of this, you can get him a high-end cybernetic leg for 10,000 credits.
Right.
Or you can get him a functional cybernetic leg for 500 credits.
10,000 or 500?
Yes. The difference meaning that, like, one will literally improve his stats. Like, it is an improvement to a normal leg.
He's got one leg that runs really fast. So
Statistically, I think you're supposed to replace both of them with the thing, but for the sake of this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you know what? Zadra's our boy. He's got to get the best.
That's going to be his ass-kicking leg.
That's his ass.
That's his
ass-kicking leg.
Yeah.
All right.
What happened to your leg? It's my ass-kicking leg.
Ass-kicking leg. And you're about to be all out of ass.
Yeah.
So that'll put him under for a little while he's off getting that replaced. But if you're like, he's more or less, he doesn't have a whole lot of credits left to his name, enough to kind of get by. Not enough to do that. But if you're willing to put up the money for him,
absolutely. I mean, it's our money, so I'll say. But
you guys are gonna buy the leg for him. Okay, Zadra will get a new ass kicking leg.
He's our favorite uncle.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You're like the cool uncle. He's the favorite uncle. There's
There's a difference.
There's a difference there.
He's like, he'll teach us a moral lesson. You'll buy us ice cream that he
and cigarettes. He'll buy you cigarettes. You're a 7-year-old and he will give you cigarettes. Anyway,
I have bought Manus a drink here at this bar.
Exactly. Zadra will be off getting that replaced. What else are you guys trying to do here?
Is there a place on this planet I could get Cortosis we've installed? Or are we going to have to...
You think that it's fairly unlikely. You think that, Cortosis is a very rare element. You think that probably only a few worlds would have people who have it, and they'd be very protective with it.
I know a shipyard that I could probably convince a guy to do it again.
You could probably convince him to do the work. You don't know if he has enough Cortosis for it.
Yeah.
Because you kind of, you know that last time you were there, you kind of used what he had.
Well, according to him.
That's true. And he was a little slippery.
He was a little slippery. Not just because he was a Mon Cal.
The groomers and get groomed and
well, Flopsy wants to go to, a hairdresser and, get all cleaned up.
There's not exactly a hairdresser. There's lots of, servers around here who are very well dressed and their hair is very well done, those who have hair, who could certainly point you in a direction. You probably have to go to town to get something like that done, but there's a city pretty close.
Yeah, there is a town nearby.
Yeah, I want to go get my hair, washed.
Hair brushed out and washed and braided.
Oh, yeah.
Little braids.
Yeah. Very cute.
Yeah.
Could you imagine braiding like a whole Wookiee?
Pretty crazy. And,
Flopsy's
book. Yeah. Probably
Erickson has
as tall as a Wookiee, but a little broader.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of hair to clean and braid.
Between you and a Wookiee in a fist fight, it'd probably be a close fight.
No,
That's scary.
I won that fight.
She did, literally.
She did literally win that fight before.
That's scary.
It wouldn't be the
I
first.
didn't know you'd actually fought a Wookiee. Okay, well, never mind then.
She bare-knuckle boxed a Wookiee to unconsciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the only one with history, weird uncle.
Well, I was picking up on that.
Let's see.
It's just weird to make a very specific joke.
And have it done the third way. So, you're certainly going to be able to go and get some time done there. Yeah. You don't think you're going to be able to find Cortosis Weave here. Okay. You think the only Cortosis we would find here is perhaps on somebody else here. And if someone has it, they're one of the most hardcore people here.
If somebody else has it, they're probably not
Great
willing to
items.
just give it to
Ooh.
them.
Looking around, though, one thing does stand out to you. And that is, you do see a familiar face here. A familiar set of armor, at the very least.
Talon Murthus.
Talon Murthus is at this bar. He doesn't seem to take note of you.
Yeah.
You can see that he's sitting at a table, and across from him, you can see there are two of these kind of weird insect-looking aliens who are kind of having a conversation with him. His helmet's setting on the helmet is sitting on the table in front of him, and he has his arms crossed there with like a drink there, and he's like, they seem to be doing a lot of talking, and he seems to be doing a lot of like annoyed listening. And they seem to be having a conversation.
Well, I don't think I've pissed off any bug people out of the many people I've pissed off, so they're not setting up a bounty on me. So
Doesn't seem like it.
man's professional; he can do what he wants.
Just a face you recognize.
That is a face I recognize.
The first time you've actually seen his true face.
That's true.
But that's not someone you've
And luckily, I'm pretty sure he didn't see my face. In fact, I don't think he saw me at all. I think the only person he saw was the guy he shot.
Sorry, I'm just reading through some of these.
Yeah, I'll pay attention if he's annoyed listening and like shooting starts, then maybe I'll pay more attention. But like apart from that,
They seem to be having conversation for a while, and eventually he never really says much of anything. He eventually extends a hand and points at it, and the conversation goes on a little more. He nods, they stand up, and they walk away. Seems like he's probably just arranging some sort of contract with them.
Give me money.
Okay.
I kill someone, you give me money.
does Pelka have any outstanding contracts at the moment? Anything interesting?
It seems like nothing particularly lucrative at the moment. If you ask him about it, he says that there's nothing. The only contracts he has are mostly off-world ones, and not super lucrative ones. Low-end starting stuff. Depending on what you're looking for, he might be able to hook you up with something, but it'd be in the like couple thousand credits or less market.
I mean, that's not necessarily bad. Look, if I'm gonna have to continue to drag these punk kids around, part of my idea, I guess, or I think it'd be fun, especially if it's a starter contract, to just like, sort of technically it's under my bounty hunting license, but like, just give it to them and just like follow them around and watch them try and catch a bounty. Could be kind of fun. Yeah, I'll just. Even if we decide not to go after it, I'll pick up.
You'll have you have a bounty in your back pocket.
We'll pick up one of those bounties just in case we need to.
It's one of those that gets distributed to multiple people, so you
Sketchy
definitely.
Uncle's gonna take us out on a joyride.
So what I'm looking for is like I thought there was like a stealth suit, like
There is.
There are.
But I can't
they may
find
not
it
be
anywhere.
in. It may not be in either of those. Books.
Oh, that's probably why.
Is it not in the armor of that?
It was. I didn't see it.
Okay, so
But there's a stealth field generator which isn't doable, and there's like a hard point improvement thing that takes 2 hard points to like.
Are
makes
you
you
wanting
better
to have gear that is making you harder to see by people or equipment?
Ooh, equipment could be cool. Or people.
Probably people.
Okay.
I
No
guess it just
scanners can
depends.
scan me.
So, yeah, if I could hear both options, that'd be great. But just because my thought is, since I'm the guy that's usually trying to sneak into places,
This is
if I can
you'd be able
take
to have next.
like if we can like give me 10 minutes to like go back to the ship, change into my sneaky suit, and then go. Yeah.
So-
go put on your sneaky clothes.
Here, there is a like fairly rare item that you would be able to pick up here specifically because it's a
Oh.
bounty hunting world,
Cool.
and that is a Bonton Corp Mark I Night Stalker infiltration suit.
That sounds so fucking rad.
It is 4,800 credits.
Okay.
It automatically adds a success to stealth checks and automatically adds a disadvantage to social skill checks.
I see.
It's because like people seeing you wear
Yeah,
that's
like,
like
that's
this is an illegal weird stealth suit, but
You
it'll
want to
give you an
know.
auto success
Ooh,
advantage.
But you're right. If
Oh
it's
no,
just
automatic
like
success. That's the success or advantage. One
It's a
success.
success.
Is it a
Is-
No, it's
flat
not
zone?
remember, it was a word. I think I said
I think you said success when you
success.
read it the first time.
Where did it just go?
So I mean that's
pretty sweet.
yeah. If you're having it as your like alternate, your sort of your alternate armor set,
Right.
where it's just like, oh, I need to infiltrate, go change into my sneaky clothes.
My stealth suit.
Yeah, because then you don't have to wear it to. Not that we're
Dinner
necessarily
parties.
not that we're necessarily the type to go to dinner parties.
Can you
but-
like? Are you able to conceal it? Like, could I wear concealing robes over it and not get the bonus to stealth, but like be able to like take my concealing robes off and like? I guess that's more of a. I don't think like vanilla you could do that, but
I think you could with the robe. I would let you. Here's the like.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a helmet as a part of it
Oh, I see.
for it to be functional. So you'd have to have the hood up
Right.
for the robes to conceal the full.
Oh
gear
yeah,
and-
but hoods over helmets looks
super
kind of cool anyway.
and the suit would not be functional while the robe's over the top of it. Like you can't get the bonus of both simultaneously. You'd have to take the robe off.
Does
for it
that
to-
have hard points?
It has one hard.
It has one hard point. I mean, even something like a superior customization,
Yeah,
or
that's what I have on my armor right now.
like, or something like that. Like I mean, you have
It's
plenty of
going to
options
be
as far as like
a
one slot
slight
armor mods.
downgrade in the armor department for you because it doesn't have any rings of defense.
Right.
So it will be worse armor, but I would let you use it with the robe as long as you take the robe off to actually get the effect of it.
Right.
But the robe could cover
Because
it
it's
up.
rad as fuck.
Also, because
Pretty
it
cool.
just helps bring you along your journey of becoming a Sith Lord to have a
Right.
helmet.
That is true. That's pretty cool.
I'm
What was
surprised.
the-
I'm
what was the
surprised
other
Erickson hasn't.
The
Put,
other option's much cheaper, and it just makes it harder for like security systems to see you. It's a cloaking coat.
option? Cloaking code. Okay.
That
Basically
doesn't-
upgrades difficulty of all checks to detect where using sensors or electronic forms of detection twice.
Okay, that doesn't sound as cool as
It's
a
not
Night Stalker
nearly as
infiltration
cool.
suit.
It's really not. That sounds pretty fucking rad.
Be really cool looking.
What do you think? What was that?
The Night Stalker infiltration suit.
That's pretty
gotta
cool.
make another
So that'd be a pretty cool like thing for
There's,
Manus. Let's see if we can find something cool here for
Flopsy?
our good friend Flopsy.
Heavy power armor with a brawn upgrade. What is it? The like strength augmentation, like upgrade or whatever.
We could afford heavy battle armor.
You don't just punch like a freight train.
You
You're
are a
armored
freight-
like a tank.
I'm just saying, like, we have some money to splash here. If this is like where we want to do and I can't think of a better time and place.
If you're looking for battle
To-
armor, you're also once again in the right kind of place
Right.
because battle armor is illegal and used often by bounty hunters. So
Right.
this would be a place you could get it.
And that's why I wanted.
If we do get it, can I paint it fun colors?
You can.
That is, there's heavy battle armor might be even scarier if
Painted
it's
with
painted fun
rainbows.
colors.
Yeah.
Because
It's like rainbow
yeah, because you're
unicorn
like-
thing, just like punch, blood explodes, punch, blood explodes.
because when the door gets blown off the hinges by a breaching charge and that comes through, you know that guy doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Like
Taking no shits.
like that guy isn't the like I'm going to look scary and look intimidated. That guy's like I know what I am. You're like
So yeah, let me read the heavy battle.
One
certain-
defense, 2 soak,
Yeah.
4 hard points.
That's the
May
thing.
be fully sealed too.
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can turn into a spacesuit.
So, certain heavy stormtroopers, bounty hunters, and even droids are fitted with heavy armor. Ostensibly, heavy armor protects against most normal blaster shots, but in the arms race of offensive versus defensive, the offensive power of a good blaster is still far ahead of most anything a humanoid can wear. Heavy battle armor can be sealed and provide the same benefits as full body laminate armor as above, or can take the form of a heavy vest and blast helmet. So, yeah, you could tank up if that's what you want.
Yes.
Okay. Flopsy
It
is
has
all
to
about
look
it.
like the cutest thing anyone's
And
ever
you're
seen.
gonna have to get that custom made for something
Oh, yes.
Flopsy size 2, which
yeah.
is
So rad.
pretty sweet.
I mean, I
Look.
think it's only fair if I'm gonna splash out.
Get
Like
some good
this
gear.
is the thing. Manus is getting his, or not Manus.
Zadra's
getting his cool new.
Zadra's
cool new
getting his
leg.
ass kicking leg.
Yeah. I'm gonna get my cool ass like predator suit. So it's only fair that Flopsy gets some kick ass armor.
I'm gonna pick out what it is.
Okay.
The,
So we'll get.
I got my fancy armor.
So we'll go and find Flopsy some heavy battle armor. Is this something she'll get in trouble for wearing? Like it's restricted, but if bounty
Both
hunters
of
wear it-
you would probably get in trouble for wearing the armor that you're wanting to buy if you were like in front of an Imperial in it. Maybe as like a sanctioned Imperial bounty hunter, they would just be like, who cares? Like, we're not going to mess them. Or like in an Outer Rim world, no one would really care, probably. But like if you're marching around and like outside of an Imperial facility and something like that, they might stop you and arrest you.
Right.
Both those things are restricted items.
That's something to keep in mind.
Yeah,
What do
yeah,
you wear?
it's
No, you wear this, don't you?
Mandalorian armor has essentially the same stat line as heavy battle armor. It is slightly different in some aspect.
But it's not considered restricted.
Well,
okay, fair enough. That's why I'm like,
Mandalorian armor is also like at least in the time of like full Imperial Princes can be a little iffy. But then again, the Empire is willing to just overlook a lot of shit if they either can't be bothered or you're of some use to them.
That is true.
Look at Boba Fett, for example.
That is very true. Let's see. That's okay. There we go. Armor attachments.
I think I found what you want.
What did you find an upgrade that?
That could be pretty sweet. There is reflex shadow skin. One hard point required. Auto generates one advantage on stealth checks and could be modded to do other things if they were successful at it.
Pretty fucking rad.
So you could just automatically have one successful advantage on stealth checks.
That actually reminds me.
That's pretty fucking rad.
There
It would
is
make me
a
squishy, but
mod.
it's also I'm not really relying on my soak and
It's more about parrying.
It's more about
and
parrying.
avoiding getting hit.
Yeah.
There is technically a mod for adding for the augmented spin barrel to add Pierce.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh
no. There's a strength enhancing system.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We give Flopsy heavy battle armor and essentially turn it into an exoskeleton with like the strength enhancing system.
Oh, that's disgusting.
No, it wouldn't affect it. It adds +1 brawn for the sake of like
Brawn
carry weight,
checks.
damage, brawn checks, and stuff like that.
But
It
not
doesn't
for
affect
soak.
soak.
Right.
But yes.
But that would still be disgusting on Flopsy.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, we're just really gonna splash out this session, I guess. It's gonna be a real pain when we can't like afford food or something. But hey, that's what bounties are for.
That's
I'm sure
you're right. You guys,
soon.
it does sound like you guys are spending a lot of money.
Until you spend what you're about to spend.
Well, I don't really have anything to.
When you get to spend on what
Well, Cortosis Week is going to be expensive.
This is what my armor's gonna look like.
I love it. Good color choices.
Alright.
If I ever get the second ship I want, I don't have anywhere near enough credits for that.
What does the superior quality give?
That's at the beginning of the equipment section.
Right.
So
what is-
but it's at the
an
big-
additional soak, right?
What'd you want to ask?
Oh, it gives an additional.
It's at the it's at the beginning of the equipment section. It'll tell you like on a
What did you
weapon
wanna
it
add
does
to it?
this, and on armor it does this.
Would you want to add to the heavy?
Heavy battle armor. Oh yeah, we're figuring out what we're gonna add.
Okay.
Superior, passive. Strong example of its kind. Superior weapon generates automatic advantage on all checks. Superior armor has its encumbrance reduced by 1 and its soak value increased by 1. Okay. So
That's part of the reason my soak is 8 is
Right.
because of
Superior.
superior metal armor.
Are you wanting to vacuum seal the suit? Are you going to wear a helmet?
that's the
Or
question.
not? Yeah. And are you wanting it to be vacuum sealed so you could like be in space in this suit, or not? Because that is one of the hard
That's
things
one of
to
the
do
hard
that, and it
things.
will take some more money.
It's based from what I can see. If we wanted to like really kit this thing out, it would be at least from the attachments that I have in this book. It would be either vacuum sealed or enhanced optics suite.
What is it?
I think enhanced optics suite's more for range, isn't it?
So it removes.
It's like night vision and
Well,
thermal
that's
and
the
stuff like
that's
that.
the targeting computers.
Yeah, you think it targeted. I guess there's more that I don't know about then.
I
There
have a
are
bunch on here.
there are a ton more in all of the other expansions, but it's like on camera in particular, it's really hard to just
that's fair.
look through a lot of that stuff.
We could definitely just settle with like
And stuff
strength
can be
enhancing,
superior
Yeah.
modified
Vacuum.
later too.
Yeah.
if you wanted to just
Yeah.
get all 4 of those.
What are you wanting to do?
Do strength enhancing, superior, and vacuum sealed.
Okay. Yeah.
And just
Pretty
like
rad.
kit her out.
So you'll be able to do that all, but it's going to be 5,000 for the armor.
Yep, and then 5,000 for strength, 5,500 for strength enhancing.
So
So
10,500.
And then superior's another superior's another 5,000. Shit.
Superior's expensive.
Superior's expensive because an extra point of soak.
That's true.
Is no joke.
We don't have to do this then. I'm not.
We don't have to vacuum seal it yet.
No.
Okay, so we'll spend a total of 15,500
for hers.
for hers.
So go ahead and mark that down somewhere so we can keep track of how much you're spending.
And upgrade Flopsy's various.
Yeah. So.
Which we'll do that. We'll do
Yeah,
that
we
there.
can do- yeah, that's
We'll
true.
do that.
Make sure I get this math right. Because I'd feel bad if I was like, oh, I dropped a decimal there. Okay, well, rad. That will fucking kit Flopsy out.
Yeah. Awesome.
I didn't want to get punched by Flopsy before. Definitely punched by
I don't
Flopsy.
want to now.
50,000.
It's worth saying you can't probably sleep in this armor.
Right.
So hopefully they don't attack you while you're sleeping like those scorpions did. But you're still scary without armor, so who cares?
All right.
And we'll upgrade his stats in a second. You just do the math, and then you are getting the stealth suit.
Yep.
Are you wanting that modification I was talking about?
I mean, I only have one hard point.
You only have one hard point on this, so
I'll splash out for the cooler
stealth stuff.
Stealth.
I
I mean, it's my stealth suit. If I'm gonna be stealthy, then I might as well be stealth. Like,
Might as well.
oh no, I'm gonna make it so I can soak one more. Like, I mean, the whole point is that I'm not like
where is it?
trying to.
I think it was 1,000 more for that.
Okay.
But let me make sure. Not passive.
Flopsy
The
is
reflect adaptive.
death
No,
on
not
the
reflect
battlefield
adaptive.
with
It's
glitter.
skin.
It's
And
reflect,
rainbows.
but it's reflect shadow skin. So
Moving-
your armor. Wow, it's almost like these are meant to go
flames
together.
with the
It's
force.
4,800 and then 1,200, so it'll be
Oh my
6,000
God.
total.
6,000 total.
And a
for
giant
those two,
scorpion
And
egg.
it'll be you just have
And
a soak of
baby
2,
bird.
so no ranks of defense anymore.
Okay.
But
I will raise
you
this scorpion to
automatically
be
will
my
get
own.
1 success and 1 advantage on all stealth checks.
Nice.
And automatic, don't forget disadvantage on social checks.
Right. If I'm not wearing my.
Yeah. If you're wearing that armor, then you have disadvantage. And also you can have the cloak on. I mean, if you have the cloak on and the helmet, I'm still giving you the disadvantage on social checks because a foreboding figure in a shadow. And you
What
get
does disadvantage imply?
Or-
1 automatic disadvantage, one of the threats.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you can still succeed or just automatically generate 1 threat, which isn't the worst.
Right.
It's
Well, because
not
I also get a boost on
great.
my. Well, because they can't see my eyes. My special eyes are negated if I'm wearing a helmet.
Or no, it's an automatic disadvantage. Is that one? That's one of the.
You
That's not a
just take
setback
your
die.
helmet off, Wilbur.
Disadvantage to social.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that that's probably
Just
just
take it off when you need your
the
special eyes.
Right, but we can figure that out for sure later. So you guys buy that equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are splashing out on
Splashing
some new
out, spending
gear.
big money. You guys get your new gear.
So
Zadra gets a new leg.
yeah.
Are you guys seeking anything else out on this world?
So
Not necessarily.
Okay.
and I guess I can just store this superior armored clothing like.
You could have that stored on the ship.
Yeah.
Unless I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I feel like I'm either waiting for Garo to call or I don't necessarily have anything I'm specifically tracking down on this planet at the moment.
Okay.
So.
There's gonna be just a little bit of time, definitely, to get this all built and custom made. You're probably gonna be here for a little while this stuff all gets built.
Which is good. I will heal up.
Yes.
probably
Is my wounds healed?
For the sake of this, you guys can all get back to full wounds and strain because it's probably gonna be a week or more that you're hanging out
Good.
here.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
You're not in a super big time crunch for a second of your lives, so you're able to kind of rest up, get this gear, get kitted out.
Put on our ass kicking outfits.
Yeah, so also have some time to get some more repairs. R3A1 definitely does try his best to help with that. Whether it's under the threat of your violence or not, who knows?
Oh, I wrote it down here.
Where?
Right here.
Okay, that's also a good place for it.
And put something here. Okay.
Okay, so that's 1 defense.
And a
Is
call
it
does
2?
come in. Not. And it seems like a call maybe has been coming in, or at least you haven't spent a ton of time on your ship recently. You get hailed on your ship.
Constantly.
And you don't know how many times they've tried to call, or how recent these calls have been coming in. But one of the times you happen to be on board your ship, it gets hailed. This time, from a place you've called recently, but from a different voice. Hello, Riden.
Alucard.
I was worried you'd been, well, I don't know. Happy to hear your voice.
You were worried we'd been shot, causing some damage to a Imperial
I've heard
reconnaissance
lots of rumor about you, my friend. Lots of rumor indeed about the company you keep and about the trouble you cause. Word is out about some of these things, if you know the right circles.
I don't like hearing that, Alucard.
Well, I mean...
Do these rumors of yours suggest the type of people we've been tangling with?
Somewhat, yes. Which
that's why I don't.
Apprehensive to make this phone
That's
call.
why I don't like hearing that word is out, as you put it.
He said, as I said, just in the circles I'm in, we're privy to lots of information. That's not important.
You haven't been in some contact with some Mandalorians, have you?
Not recently.
No. Well, then it's bad.
He says, well, let's put it this way. I know some of the nature of the people who were recently around Mandalore, and I know what happened above Mandalore, and due to a phone call you made to my mechanic, I'm guessing you had nothing to do with that. However, from what if what I've heard of you is true, it's that, rumor has it, you are the man to call for suicide missions.
Great. All right, hold on. First question, what are you paying?
What are you charging?
Well, that's an interesting question. You wouldn't happen to know where to get a hold of a hammerhead frigate, would you?
Says, I can't say I know that, but this job, consider me the go-between. I'm seeking you out as somebody I know, capable and able-bodied, who, rumor has it, likes to go on the kinds of missions that ends up in almost certain death. And that just so happens to be the mission I need some extra heavies for. This particular mission takes us to a interesting, dangerous, and quiet corner of space, in search of some sort of strange artifact, I believe. In the name of a good cause, however. In the name of a good cause.
Way too much strange artifact shit recently.
And from what I am told, you have quite the company you keep who may be useful as well. Were they willing to come along?
I could guarantee at least 4 of us, assuming the pay's good. Potentially 5.
He says, well,
depending on what kind of shape Zadra's asking.
He says, he's ready to test it out.
I've got a, well, let's see. Financially, there's a decent bit, not as much as I'm sure you would probably want for that number of people, but I have some other resources reaching out. There's apparently a smuggler owes a favor to somebody who can also help supply some financial recompense.
Flashback to dragging a smuggler through a bar fight on
an integrated ascension kit. He says, combined that should be a decent amount, and as far as a hammerhead, I'm not sure, but perhaps that just what I'd lack...
Keep your eye out.
Always. What we may lack in overall total fund compensation, I'm sure we could help make up for in supplies or information. It's a fairly well-connected group.
Well, I suppose your mechanic helped us out a little bit with some stuff we certainly weren't involved in above Mandalore.
Of course not. Wouldn't suggest it. Wouldn't dream of
it. Wouldn't say a thing. Please, no, I'd never say anything.
All right. Where are we meeting?
Well, that's a bit of a strange point. I feel I can trust you. You know, I don't know why I'm being secretive about this. I've told you before.
You're a rebel, Alucard. You made no secret of it. You didn't do a good job of keeping it secret.
What I'm saying is, don't go gathering around about it. Not that you're the type to do that, of course. Right? And I would never even allude to such a thing.
I don't think I have mentioned your name to a single person since we've met.
Good. little offended. Thought I'd be more memorable.
Do you
Dantooine!
do you want
Dantooine!
Do you want me to not tell anybody about you, or do you want me to tell people about you?
Just only the good parts, and not the parts I wouldn't want them to know. Like this, Dantooine. Come to the planet Dantooine. That is where I am. That is where we will meet. There's a small base of sorts there. Who knows who's in charge of it, right? Right? Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. That's where I'd like you to meet, and that's where we will stage this little outing. I have to be direct with you here. I don't want to drop anything on you once you arrive here. I want all the cards to be out on the table before you realize full sabak is laid out against you. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying you're going to try and screw me over?
What I'm saying is I'm going to give you the full truth so you don't feel screwed up. Straight dealing. That's what you get from Alaka and Costa.
Suspicious.
The strange little man talks in circles, but at least the first time, it felt like a pretty straight deal. So
It says, what know you of the Redoubt? Make me a knowledge lore or knowledge outer rim?
whatever it is, it's a knowledge check, so it's going to be the same thing.
We'll call it average.
That's relying on intellect.
Actually, it'll be hard. It'll be hard for this. This is a pretty weird piece of...
One failure, one threat.
You don't know much about it. You think it has something to do with the Chiss, and that it's somewhere dangerous in the galaxy. That's about as much as you know.
Hey, I know a chiss? No is probably a strong word.
You've interacted with the Chiss
Didn't
before.
shoot a chiss.
You didn't shoot a Chiss once before.
They're basically best friends.
It says, this particular part... Are you familiar with the Redoubt?
Something related to the chiss?
That it is. It's sort of their fallback cluster of stars, a near impossible place to navigate due to the proximity of large celestial bodies. Also, constantly under observation and protection from Chiss fleets, it is sort of their fallback defensive part of the galaxy in worst case scenario, always under watch sort of deal. We need to go into the heart of it.
For what?
Well, a weapon?
Question mark?
What we're seeking is part of a device that will give us an upper hand in our current ventures. There is also something rather strange and convoluted and riddly that I don't fully understand or know that mentions something of another weapon or something that may be useful there as well, though I couldn't tell you the whole thing from memory, but if you come here, I'm sure they'd share whatever they know about it with you.
Strange little man. Alright. We'll at least hear you out.
That's what I like about you, Riden. You always hear a man out. Very well, Dantooine, as soon as possible, and we will make a more thorough plan from there.
Well, as soon as we're done re-armoring, we'll head that direction.
Very good, very good.
Assuming I can find Manus now.
What do you mean?
I've been listening the whole time.
Good job.
Says,
He's like
we
looking
will
from the window
see you
and
then
having his
shortly.
shoulders.
Happily awaiting our reuniting.
Glad to hear you haven't blown yourself up, Alucard.
And I've survived anyone trying to do the same. Good day to you. Goodbye, Riden.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Here you go.
looks like your training bounty hunt will have to take a back seat. There's an associate, a contact of mine that
Needs a weapon?
wants to hire us for a suicide mission. Because he's been hearing through the grapevine that we're getting pretty good at those. Not that that's all that.
And I'm with my
Endearing
new
of a
armor. I'm
reputation.
like,
I mean, it's the chances of dying on the suicide mission for Flopsy have gone down with that new set of armor.
This is true.
So
If she gets into a position to punch some battleships, so
now
You
I'm
punched
going,
my battleship.
which for most characters, punching a battleship and you're like, okay, For Flopsy. It
now
is
my
a roll.
goal is to use another battleship to punch a battleship.
You punch the battleship with the battleship. That's
He's
why you buy Hammerhead Corvette.
yeah. Supposedly they're gonna pay. I don't know exactly how much, but they want to. It's apparently working for the rebels, or at least some faction of people trying to fight against the Empire, which seems right up our alley.
Man, this is pretty lukewarm about the rebels overall. Flopsy's all about the rebels.
We've
She's a little steamier about the rebels.
I mean,
I mean, we're all a little steamy about Princess Leia, if you know.
Howling chicka wow.
we've
Brown
I mean
chicken,
we have obviously we are at this point sort of sworn enemies in the Empire.
I was never
least-
going to be anything else.
At least from the Empire's perspective. So
Some of you were born sworn enemies of the Empire.
so it I guess it's kind of right up our alley. You know anything about all these rebels, Zadra?
Shrugs, says, And he's sitting here, and you can, like, if you look under the table walking up, you can see a very high-end, nice cybernetic leg on his right side. But he's going to say, I've done what I can to avoid getting too heavily involved there, to avoid attention, as we've been trying to rebuild what we can. At this point, I think rebuilding, helping them, is just as effective as rebuilding anywhere else with the galaxy, the parts of the galaxy after us that are. And I'd say that this sounds like a pretty good opportunity to pay back one or two of those favors I owe you.
Well, they're apparently after some kind of weapon or a piece of a weapon in deep Chiss space. They're in deep Chiss.
Up a Chiss Creek without a Chiss paddle. Up a Chiss Creek without a vibro paddle. If you know what I mean.
Just without a vibro paddle. I think that should be an out of context quote. You're up Chiss Creek without a vibro paddle.
Interesting enough, that will go on the tabletop RPG out of context with out of context list, which we haven't put anything on in a while.
There you go.
He says, Chiss space is one part of this galaxy.
Going directly under Jorts of the Jungle.
Good stuff. He says, Chiss space is one dark, dangerous corner of this galaxy that I haven't spent any time. So, it'll be new to me.
I've never been there in my life.
He also did.
surprising.
He also did a lot of talking about a strange artifact or something, which.
Hooray! More strange artifacts.
Look, I'll be honest. After witnessing all of this space wizard bullshit since we've been traveling together, makes me sort of lean that direction.
The Force tends to have its hand in everything, particularly the mysterious thing.
So, I figure you.
That's where you keep your extra lights.
So of course that's what the Force is.
There's a lot of Force to keep.
So I don't know. I figured maybe you'd want to tag along just for that, since you seem to like dealing with space magic bullshit. There's space wizard bullshit.
You see the two of us and are like all kitted out now. They're just like.
He's gonna look over you specifically in a dark stealth suit.
You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Flashbacks to hooded masked Sith, just like killing people.
Looks at Flopsy, basically looks like this guy.
Looks like that rainbow dye, but a
murdered.
mecha.
And I'm like,
He says,
yeah.
I'm in. You all seem excited, and more friends we can make, the better. The more experience you all can get.
Well, these are at least specifically Alikern and his crew Alikern's eccentric, but at least his crew seem like pretty dependable sorts. Alikern seems to be dependable, straight dealer at least. It's a little too moral, I guess. Maybe to the point of it being a flaw, but
At
least he's honest, I suppose.
honesty comes first for me when anyone we're doing dealings with. I want to be able to trust the people we're working with.
Well, Alikern might talk in circles, but I'm pretty sure you can trust him, so.
Space wizard bullshit. Space.
Zadra can just tell you two are sitting there, like you two are both sitting there in like this mech gear and helmets, just going.
This is a real Beavis and Butthead energy. It's even funnier because through our masks, it's coming out like
oh yeah, we have to modify mine because I have that giant.
Yours
thing.
is you just make animal noises if you don't have that, but that now that's just built into your helmet's apparatus. You can speak through that.
Nice.
So rad.
Well, I think I'm ready. And he like turns and and the like leg extends and he stands up straight with it. And, I'll turn to you guys in your kitted out gear and say, so where are we heading?
Dantooine.
And with that, that's where we will end this episode of the combined Star Wars campaign. Next time, off to Dantooine to start the next leg of their journey. Thanks for watching, everybody.